Hey guys, it's Mathel here, and today I've got a kind of a quick video because I've just got back from running training as well as climbing in 38-degree terrible weather, so I'm really tired and I'm just trying to squeeze this in before I fall asleep. Point of this video is to talk about cast on crit and that it's actually probably better than it's ever been, or at least in a really good spot right now ever since 2.1 came to pass. Now the reason for that is we got a few new spells in Blade Vortex and Bladefall, and on top of that, a lot of spells got buffed. Their damage got buffed, and yeah, some of them just became stronger, like Spark, Arc, got extra chains, got extra projectiles, all sorts of things. And as far as I'm concerned, nothing got nerfed for cast on crit. On top of that, we have Blasphemy Auras, so essentially there's a lot of new stuff you can play around with to make cast and crit stronger than ever before. My character here is a level 71 Scion, and I've decided to build by going more to the witch tree than I normally do because I've managed to pretty much cap crit regardless. So I've focused more on spell crit and spell damage and such like that. And the point is to tell you that there are a lot of options for you to do with cast on crit right now. And you can try a lot of different spells and different combos and have great success with all of them. Right now my character has pretty much nothing worth of gear except for, well, a carcass jack. Everything else is extremely cheap and accessible and costs me absolutely nothing. Some of it is still absolutely terrible even. So to start off with Blade Vortex, it's really not that strong unless you specifically build for it. Like, if you're going to use Blade Vortex in your main setup, you probably want increased duration somewhere on the passive tree, because without it, you struggle to get too many stacks unless you're doing a lot of single target damage or hitting many monsters throughout a large pack that won't die, which doesn't happen too often because many of your other skills will kill things before Blade Vortex even has a chance to stack. And on top of that, it just doesn't do that much damage without scaling it specifically. Like here, I'll stack up to 10, and you can see, stand here. It takes a fair while to, kill a single mob. So it's not all that great, but there are some interesting interactions with it. So my recommendation is to try a cast and crit character if you haven't. All you really need is a Vegan Dagger. The way I'm building them, all you really need is a Vegan Dagger, roll some crit on it, grab a couple of Elrion jewelry, a Tabula if you can get one. I'm using a 5-link carcass because I happen to have one of those. And the rest is absolute nothingness. My shield's okay though, that cost a few chaos. And my suggestion is to try out a whole bunch of spells and see what you like, because at the moment I'm not sure there's a correct answer. So right now my main setup that I'm enjoying is Arc, Bladefall, and Ice Nova, and that is absolutely steamrolling, as we will see in just a second. There we go, found ourselves a Vol. Still only level 71, so I've got a long way to go in terms of DPS, gem levels, passives, gear. So, all things considered, this does a lot of work for the amount of investment put in. So, as you can see, Bladefall hits like an absolute truck. Ice Nova does a lot of freeze and actually quite a lot of damage as well. And Arc chains, shocks, and also hits pretty hard too. Nice freeze box. This might kill me. No, we're all good. So, cast on crit seems to hit harder and be in a stronger place than potentially ever before. I've still got a lot of sussing out to do for this build, how I ultimately want to build it, but I just wanted to show you guys a quick example of what it looks like with the different spells and what you can do, and the fact that you should pretty much play around with it yourself and try what you like. Lastly, I will mention that if you don't want to use something like Blasphemy with Assassin's Mark, which isn't really that necessary for my build anyway, it's just a luxury at the moment. I haven't quite figured out what I want to do with my mana. You can drop that, and to keep up power charges, you can use Blade Vortex self-cast with a power charge on crit. It'll help to attach it to an increased duration, maybe a blood magic as well if you don't have the mana to spare for it. But this keeps up your power charges for a Cyclone build, or pretty much for any melee build, infinitely. Not infinitely, but really, really easily is what I'm trying to say. As you can see, right now I'm sustaining purely off of Blade Vortex. All you got to do is make sure you press it roughly once every 15 seconds, and you will get free power charges for days. Now that also brings me to an interesting interaction. You can then attach or wear a Vol's Protector chest, like we used to do for Fakener, use Discharge, and have Blade Vortex in your link as well, which will vastly increase the amount of power charges you get to discharge for that build. So that is quite an interesting combination that you can get around to for Fakener. I plan to test that out on Standard and get back to you guys with the results. Maybe Fakener will be next level once again, like it used to be. On top of that, you can get some Warlord's Mark Blasphemy, you know, whatever, to save yourself a life leech slot. But for now, I recommend if you guys want to roll a cast on crit character, it's really quite easy, it's a lot of fun, and try out all kinds of different spell combos and see what you like. I'm also leveling a Cold Snap, Discharge, another arc. A Flame Surge is really good for single target. EK can be good. But one thing to note is Blade Vortex are not that great unless you specifically build towards it, with things like increased duration nodes, maybe even a Hatred as your aura, things like that. But quick video, just a bit of a public service announcement. Get in there, cast some spells on crit, it's great. Once again, I am Mathil, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.